Hello, all you copies out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another Genlock episode review. This time, unfortunately, it's the season finale, as we are on Season 1's Episode 8, titled Identity Crisis. It has been a fun ride, and I gotta tell you, this took me off guard because I did not know it was only gonna be 8 episodes long. Like, if I had known that from jump, I probably should have done my research, but oh well. But here we are, it's finally time. Let's see this conclusion as we open up with Mingus, of all people, trying to establish a connection with the Genlock team. As, we see that the Ratsabase is getting ready to mobilize the team in their final pursuit of Nemesis. We even see that they're renaming their plane, their personal, aircraft, the Renegade, which I absolutely love that. But Mingus does manage to patch on through, shocked to see that everyone is alive and well, although that is a two-way street. They ask whether or not Dr. Weller actually managed to survive, but unfortunately it is confirmed that he is no longer amongst the living. When asked how Anvil Base managed to survive the nano outbreak, Mingus explains that Dr. Weller and them had actually developed something in response to the fact that Union soldiers always seemed to be protected whenever they had a scuffle. And it is because of this that it was discovered that a special chip keeps the nano from affecting Union soldiers. Dr. Weller reverse engineered this technology in order to protect everyone at Anvil, keeping them safe from the nano outbreak. When Mingus asks where they've been, they explain they've been on the run for a while, but they have found a safe place to set up shop. Mingus then tells them that they are already going on a offensive against the Union forces who have invaded Chicago, Illinois. So that would be the best place to go and possibly find Nemesis. So we see Cammy hand over her little, robotic mech over to Martin, Henry, I should say. Oof. I don't know why I said Martin Henry for safekeeping, which is a cute little moment. And we also see that Chase kind of apologizes to Fatima about the whole situation, the loss of Dr. Weller, everything. But, Fatima simply states that, Weller had a lot of faith and trust in what Chase would become and how he would develop. And she feels that he has come a long way from where he started. And she says that Weller would be the most, take so much pride in how far Chase has come. We also have this little moment between Caliban and Fatima, where Caliban just gazes at her almost longingly. So I'm starting to think, and I feel that Fatima catches this as well, that Weller's mind there might be more than a few fragments of Weller's mind within Caliban's AI unit. We see that the battle in Chicago is raging on, and while some of them would love to be involved and help out the Purity forces, the Anvil Base forces, they have their own mission in order to finally take down Nemesis for good. They go on to say that their best plan to honestly do is just upload, go out, tease Nemesis as best they can, and see if he shows up. Which honestly is a very simple plan, as Caliban says, but it should be very effective, because Nemesis doesn't really need much of a reason to come after them. So they all jump out with Chase and Yaz taking point. Naturally, Val goes into the shadows to get a good spot for some sniping, and Cammy brings out her upgraded drones, and we see that they commune with her ears, basically relaying information, where we see that some of the Union forces are out in stride. So Kaz gets ready to, go and just cause a little havoc, get a little bit of a warm-up in. And as they battle the Union forces, and I love this scene where Chase is just walking away as they're doing battle with the Union forces, he basically starts taunting and teasing Nemesis, like, I know you can hear me, I know you're creeping, come on out, let's finally settle this. You keep saying that I'm a copy, but no version of me would ever, fall to Union forces. And like, he's just talking mad trash at this point. And, Cammy does notice that something is incoming on their position, and it's large, but it's also very, very fast, which Nemesis could never move that fast before. And they start to kind of realize, that can only mean one thing, and that's that Nemesis has been outfitted with boosters. So in comes Nemesis like a bat out of hell, just flying through the air, and he immediately goes for Chase, knocking him on his ass. And we see that Nemesis has had an upgrade to his armor and his limbs as well, and is using the nanotechnology to create solid constructs for itself as well, such as various forms of weaponry, as well as barriers to guard against, long-range attacks. Cammy goes in to try to hack its connection to get its, the nanotech kind of offline, but is completely guarded. And it just starts wrecking Chase at this point, and even just gets a few shots in on Kazu, despite Kazu's heavier armor. It's just too capable, and it's basically reading all of their attacks at every turn through the Genlock system, even predicting where Val would snipe from. And, bringing out his own gun as well, which was just incredible. This thing is just too devastatingly versatile. Being able to just match them at every step, at every turn. And, this creates a bit of a problem for the Genlock team, because the one thing they had over on it was numbers, but now it's better connected into the Genlock system. It's predicting all of their movements and all of their attacks. Also gotta note the fact that Val's Holion is basically robotic Widowmaker, with its sniping and its grappling hook and all that. It's just like, it's Robo Widowmaker. But Chase goes in, still trying to go toe-to-toe with Nemesis. It blinds Kazu, completely almost taking him out as well. So Cammy and Kazu decide to link up to better take it on, but Chase still continues to refuse to link up. But we do actually get to see some nice combos with Kazu and Cammy, short range, long range, and then a nice combo that cuts off two of Nemesis's hands. However, the combinations are really starting to burn through their uptime, and it's not helped by the fact that we see that Nemesis is able to regenerate its limbs through the use of the nanotech. Also gotta note the fact that Yaz has eye lasers. It was one thing when she shot lasers from her fist, but the eye lasers are just, my goodness. But, after temporarily taking out Kaz and Cammy, in comes Nemesis barreling down on Yaz, only to be taken off guard by the reappearance of Val with a point-blank shot. Nemesis is just undeterred. It's just regenerating at such a rapid rate, and because of its many limbs and weaponry, it's keeping everyone at bay. So, Val and Yaz decide to team up and do a combination of their own, with Yaz super hitting Val's blade, and while Yaz goes for the long range, Val goes for the short distance attacks. with even Chase coming in with a nice freaking just kick to Nemesis. But Cammy calls out that the best way to finally finish off Nemesis is to do a full-on combination, with all 5 of them working in unison. But Chase explains that he's really not down for it because all he really has at this point is his mind. And without that, he doesn't know who he'll be, how he'll be changed. He's so set on clinging to his past self that he's just so absolutely really not willing to just go through with this combination, as he feels that he might lose what makes him him. But Val explains, look, change, growth, adaptation, that's a part of being human. You don't stay stagnant forever. You grow, you develop, and various things and the people around you make you who you are years from now. That they've got to trust him, trust in the rest of them to see him through, to do what needs to be done. And Yaz, showing the really close bond that these two have, says you have to stop fearing change. You have to stop clinging to this notion that you are only you because of, just your mind. You are you because you are Chase. You are more than just your past and your memories. And Chase starts to kind of take to the idea, only for it to be revealed that his uptime limit, all of their uptime limits are approaching. And they're kind of distraught because they were starting to actually make some headway. But Chase decides, they gotta take this thing down here and now. If it flies off again, it'll just upgrade, it'll grow, develop, adapt. It'll become even stronger than the last time. So it has to end here and now. So he proposes that he stay behind, ignoring his uptime in order to give everyone enough time to come back and help him finish the job. Yaz is completely against that because Chase will lose his body. He will no longer be able to, go back to being himself. But he says, I stopped being me a long time ago. There's not much to my body anymore. So what's just being trapped in, the Holon really going to change? So ultimately he goes to continue to fight Nemesis while they, go back and try to re-upload. They're not comfortable with this decision, but they decide it's the only way, with Nemesis naturally hearing all of this over the Genlock system. So he's already privy to their plan as everyone makes their escape, and Chase sticks behind in order to give them enough time to download and then re-upload. However, Nemesis just continues to taunt and go Chase like, you should just download, man, just do it. Go back to the body that used to be mine, or else you will wind up just like me. But Chase sticks it out, and he continues to fight Nemesis, losing his body in the process, which is just kind of a phenomenal moment. That's such a major decision too. Honestly, I wish we had more time to dwell on this moment to get everything that goes through Chase's mind as this moment hits, but at the same time, it kind of makes you understand what was at stake, and you understand how much of a, brutal moment this actually is for Chase as a whole. And I hope they explore this more in season 2, because it's all Chase had left, and now he doesn't even have that anymore. But the battle continues between Chase and Nemesis, with Nemesis even managing to just pin Chase to the ground. And once they confront each other, Chase is just like, I got you, man. You may think I'm down, but I am not out. And he starts to just come in and bombard Nemesis with all these memories, these feelings and emotions that Nemesis seems to just have forgotten over time because of his capture with the Union. However, after seeing a picture of all the Genlock team, This gives Nemesis an idea to go directly for them, and he pins Chase under a tower, and instead of going after their Hellions, he goes directly after the Genlock team specifically, while Cammy is trying to get their re-upload ready, because naturally Weller, ever the safe person, ever one of caution, has barred them from going back too soon without at least a little bit of time to just get readapted to their bodies. However, Nemesis arrives right outside, like he directly pinpointed where they would be. And like, that's the biggest problem with having your bodies in a very known location. It's just like, yeah, just go there and kill the squishy things and all your problems are eliminated. And while they do try to retaliate, the nano wall just comes right on up and he just starts creeping on them, only for him to be blasted, away by what looks to be Sinclair's Hellion, ready to just throw down and fight and help them out, along with Miranda as well. So it's good to see her back for the final showdown. But Nemesis is undeterred and goes scurrying right after them, while Chase does manage to free himself from the rubble. And as the battle continues, everyone else in the Genlock team starts to feel a little bit powerless, especially when it starts to look like the other Hellion is taking massive damage and is no longer able to really fend off Nemesis by itself. But Miranda steps in, appealing to the inner Chase, and it starts to just bug out right there and then. Nemesis just freaking out seeing Miranda, just getting very emotional in the moment, as Chase manages to arrive right on the scene and battles it out with Nemesis being knocked away in the process. It's then revealed that the person inside this other Hellion is in fact Leon August, who says that, hey, the other you is kind of a dick. So, but, remember, Dr. Weller said that with Leon's age, him being in Genlock isn't the safest thing around, so just keep that in mind as they continue to do battle. But, Leon says he doesn't want to burn through his uptime, and, Chase realizes he doesn't have to worry about uptime anymore, so he mods all of his emotional states in order to better combat, Nemesis to the fullest. Meanwhile, the Genlock team tries to get into a safe distance in order to, keep away from Nemesis's grasp, though he, not for a lack of trying, as he brings out a giant nano hand. But he ends up being shot down by everyone else, brought low to the ground. But he does create this giant wave of these nano spikes, which I gotta say, this nano cloud that he has going seems to be able to do just a lot more than I feel that it should be able to do. Something about this don't feel right, because it's able to produce a lot more stuff than I feel that it should be. But Chase manages to push everyone else out of the way, only to get knocked on his ass. But he's met with the timely arrival of his full team, ready to throw down and finally stick it to Nemesis. He does warn, though, that if all 5 of them merge, he might end up becoming just like Nemesis. But they reassure him, like, dude, Nemesis was by itself. It was tortured, it was manipulated, and it was distorted. But Chase, he has the rest of his team. He has his friends. And with them all together, they will bring Nemesis low. And so they all join hands and unify their minds, basically, ready to bring Nemesis down. And as they start to try to surround and, infiltrate Nemesis's mind, they go full force from, the outside as well. Slicing, dicing, blasting, bombing, just blowing him up as best they can, with Chase going in and extracting the nanobot control data, which Cammy starts to manipulate. And before Nemesis can retaliate, she's able to stop the nano force and, allows it to dissipate, completely, you know, making it so that all of the regenerated parts that Nemesis was able to bring back, start to dissipate, aren't able to just, stay there anymore, which makes sense for the most part. It's just like, well, it was just kind of, like being held together just very loosely. But with this, it's no longer able to be the threat it once was. And everyone just is just like, yep, payback time. So they all go in full force, Kaza cutting off its last hand, Cammy bombing it to shit, Val and Yash just blasting it up into the air, and Chase brings it high enough and just drops it right there and there with this beautiful shot. I love the reflective shot in the eyes. Such great cinematography right there. And Nemesis falls and is brought low to the ground, with Chase taking Val's blade, ready to deliver the final blow. And as Chase kind of, for the most part, talks things over with Nemesis, Nemesis kind of hints that the Union might have actually made copies of his mind. So this might not be the very last that they see of Nemesis, as Chase brings the hammer down, destroying Nemesis once and for all. And as everyone looks on, now that the day has finally been saved, we also come to the realization that Leon's gonna have to, re-upload himself, download himself, and he hints that it wasn't great uploading. Downloading might not be any better, only for it to be revealed that because of the Genlock program, there's severe damage to his mind, and Leon basically enters a catatonic state, with the possibility of him not even being still within his mind anymore. And as they are greeted by Colonel Marion, they lament the kind of loss of Leon. I'm glad they kind of showed this, because it shows the, losses, the difficulties. Not everyone made it out okay from this whole entire situation, but it's a good thing to keep in mind the dangers of everything that they do. But Marianne, exclaims that this is their first win, their first real victory, their first real push back against the Union forces, and she hopes that they will join her, rejoin Anvil Base in order to, continue their cooperation together and proceed to try their best in order to take back, all the ground that they've lost against the Union. And as they take some time to discuss things, Chase decides that his best place is to just talk things over with Miranda. With Miranda lamenting that they aren't the same people they were back then, for a number of reasons. They lost everything that used to be themselves in New York. And because of that, it's time for them to possibly just start taking it one step at a time, one day at a time, to see where they end up. And just not being strangers, just maybe one day down the line seeing if they can make it work again, all things considered. And as Chase notes, asks his team what the ultimate verdict that they decided on is, it's revealed that they have decided to go back to the Ratsa base, back with Fatima, but still keep their close working relationship with Anvil Base as well. So it's a bit of a joint project for the most part, even with them even taking Mingus as well as a technological consultant for the most part. Fatima also states that they will be taking Leon to a secure location for neurotherapy, hopefully in the effort to finally, hopefully one day, get his mind back to his body. And as Julian Chase, I should say, gives a fond farewell, see you later to Miranda, he flies off, with them going their separate ways for now. This was an amazing amazing series. Rooster Teeth managed to make lightning strike twice, and that in and of itself is absolutely fantastic. And one thing of note is the after credit scene, where we see a battalion of Union forces walking through various checkpoints as one of them actually scampers off on his own, for it to be revealed to be the still alive Robert Sinclair. So a lot of people's theories on whether or not Robert would one day return. Yes, Sinclair is still out there, he's still alive, but he's also in enemy territory. But, great series. Rooster Teeth, you outdid yourself with this. It was a great joint project with Michael B. Jordan's company as well. I'm so happy this managed to actually work out so well. This was a fantastic endeavor, and I honestly cannot wait to see more of the Genlock team and their various exploits out in the world as a whole. I'm glad. I'm just really glad because, Rooster Teeth just keeps bringing its A game, keeps developing its script, keeps growing and spreading out and developing and just becoming something so much better than what they started out with. And all things considered, I wish Monty were here to see it, because your people have come a long way, man. The team that you started with have really outdone themselves, and I can't wait to see where they go next from here. What about the copies? Is Weller still dead? Really, truly dead? What will happen with Sinclair behind enemy lines? Will he ever be, rescued? Will he be able to, actually be a part of the Genlock team, truly? And, ultimately, what's going to happen with Chase now that he is no longer able to go back to what remained of his body? But my music cut out, so that just means I've been talking for too long. So tell me your thoughts on not just this episode, but Genlock as a whole. And hey, how about leaving me a like on this video if you liked what I had to say, or even a dislike if I felt I babbled a little too much. This was a very exciting episode, and I just really wanted more. I wish I had let myself know that there were going to be only 8 episodes, but what can you do? But hey, how about subscribing, because once Genlock finally manages to return, I'll definitely be doing more Genlock episode reviews. But until that time comes, I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay locked in.